Let's take a little trip down memory lane and review some of my earliest videos, shall we? This will be good for a laugh. Recently in my Facebook group, I made a post and I said, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to doing videos? And it was so enlightening to me to see what a lot of you were saying. Some of it was about editing, some of it was just about the technology of it, some of it was about mindset and just being afraid of being on camera and being willing to get over your fear. And as we say, suck it up and press record. Now, as you can see, I've decided to stop fighting the aging process and let my gray hair grow out. And yeah, it's been a little bit of it's been a little frightening. Like, I know that I have gray hair, but I didn't know how much gray hair I actually had until I stopped coloring it. Does this scare me? Do I worry about being judged on camera? I do. Sure. I mean, I'm human. We all want to look good and we don't want people to judge us. But at the same time, I'm in my 50s now. Like, I'm not fooling anybody. And how many people do I know that were not able to go to the salon while we were all in quarantine and we were all in the same boat? And I thought, you know what? It's time to embrace it, sister. So hence, no more hair dye for me. Am I going to start getting some comments? Probably. Remains to be seen. Haven't gotten any yet. We'll see how the trolls come out and whether they start doing it. But even if I do get comments from trolls, even if I do get some nasty posts from haters, am I going to let that stop me from earning a living? Am I going to let it stop me from trying to genuinely help people who need my help? Is it going to stop me from trying to attract my tribe? Hell no, it's not. So in this video, we're going to review some of my oldest videos that are beyond cringeworthy, so that you will then too feel, hey, there's hope for me. So if you are at the very beginning of your video making journey and you're nervous about being on camera, let this be a lesson to you. We all got to start somewhere and there's nowhere to go but up, right? So without further ado, let's watch.
White realtors in the greater Atlanta area. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the Home Partners Program, which is a great rent-to-own program. So let's say you really want to buy your first house, but you do not have a down payment saved up, or maybe your credit scores are just a little bit too low, trying to pay off some credit.
Okay, stop. I can't take it anymore. There are so many things that are awful about this video, but let's go over what they are. Number one is the lighting. There pretty much is none. I was sitting in my bedroom in a chair up against the wall with a window to one side. So the light was coming from one side, no light on the other side, nothing behind me at all. And I think I was filming with my phone and I had not cleaned the camera lens first. So it's blurry, it's low resolution, the lighting is bad. I don't think I had a microphone, so there's no audio to speak of whatsoever. It was not good. It was not good.
Cards or maybe a student loan, but you want to buy something. You want to be a renter forever. Well, this is a great solution for people like you. What you do is get approved on the Home Partners website. And let me tell you the requirements first. You have to have a total household income of at least $50,000 a year. No current bankruptcies pending. If you filed in the past but it's been discharged, that's okay.
Now, what I'm talking about in this video was very valuable information. And so it hasn't gotten a million views or anything like that, but it has gotten some views. And the reason why is because it was a topic that people were interested in. Home Partners is a company that buys properties that are for sale. They put a tenant in the property after they close, and then they do a lease with an option to purchase. So it was a really great program for somebody that wants to buy a house, but maybe they just don't have a down payment or their FICO scores are not quite high enough. It was a good way for them to get into the house of their choice and worry about being able to buy it a year or two down the road. So I would encourage you, if you're not familiar with Home Partners, go to their website, find out if they operate in your city. And if so, there's a really good opportunity for you to do some marketing strategies there. But I digress. Let's go back to this video.
No evictions or felonies on your record. And the minimum FICO score is, I believe, 520. So you go to their website. If you meet those qualifications, you fill out an application. They will approve you and say, okay, you are approved for a monthly rent of $2,000 a month, for example. We go out house hunting. We find the ideal house for you. Then we submit all of the information about that property to home partners. They will send you an email and say, okay, if you buy this house, well, if we buy this house for you, your rent will be $1,875 a month, and then when you're ready to buy it, your price will be $205,000. Do you agree to these terms? If you say yes, then they submit an offer to the seller.
You can see on this video that I did 0 editing. I did no lower thirds. I did no cuts. I did no zoom in and zoom out. I did nothing. Is it interesting to watch? Heck no. It is so not interesting to watch. But it wasn't a very long video, and the information was good enough that it still got some views. So just know that as you're starting your video journey, not every video is going to knock it out of the park. Not every video is going to draw people to your channel like crazy, and it doesn't have to. You're going to find the 80-20 rule pertains like it does in most of life. 20% of the videos on your channel are going to bring you 80% of the results. And not only is that perfectly okay, that's pretty typical. All right, let's move on and look at another beauty of mine where I'm talking about why you should get pre-approved for a home loan.
Hey everybody, Karin Carr here with REALTOR, and I'm going to talk to you today about why it's important to get pre-approved for a mortgage before you start home shopping.
I hate this so much. I preach this all the time now, but back then I didn't know this. I never, ever, ever advocate that you open the video by immediately talking about who you are, because quite honestly, nobody cares at this point. And when you open the video by telling them who you are, they immediately think, oh, great, it's another realtor trying to sell me something I don't want, trying to tell me that now is a great time to buy. Interest rates are at a historic low. You're going to get so much extra stuff if you buy now. And they immediately think what they all think. In fact, I got this awesome comment recently from this guy who said, I don't know why anybody would ever use a realtor. And you know what, people? This is what people think of us. It is up to us to change their minds. It is up to us to show them that we are not all smarmy salespeople that will do anything and say anything to get the sale. So don't open your video talking about yourself. Instead, open your video by talking about what the video is about, what they're going to learn, why it's awesome, and why they should watch.
There are a couple of main reasons, but the first one is that you want to know exactly what you can qualify for. There is no point in going out looking at houses if you really don't know what your budget is. And the last thing you want to do is go out and find the home of your dreams, then submit an application to a lender and find out that you don't qualify for that much. So we want to find out what your budget is up front. Next, we want to know what the monthly payment's going to be. For instance, if you say, I do not want to have a monthly payment higher than $1,500 a month, we need to know what that equates to as far as the purchase price so that when you're home shopping, you are comfortable.
All right, I got to stop it again because here we are filming in the car. Now, I know back in the day when I filmed this video, there were several agents that was their thing. They filmed in the car, and that was kind of cool and groundbreaking back then. But now it just comes across as lazy. I mean, can we attempt to have a little bit of production value? I'm not saying that we need to go out and hire a professional and make this the most amazing video that we've ever seen. But it would be great if we put just a smidge of effort into the video creation process. Because YouTube viewers these days have much higher expectations. They want to be entertained visually as they're watching the video. And if you're giving them good information, but you're not giving them anything to look at, there's no presentation value whatsoever, it's going to be hard for you to keep their attention all the way to the end of the video. So do try to do a few things to make the video more interesting as far as editing, lower thirds, graphics, sound effects, music in the background, stuff like that. You don't have to be an Oscar winner, but you do need to put like a little bit of effort into it.
All right, again, if you are going to start house hunting, visit my website at northernatlantaDreamHomes.com. You can start shopping online for some houses in the areas that you like and see what things cost these days. If you want to get pre-approved for a loan, let me know. I've got lots of lenders that I work with on a regular basis. I'd be delighted to give you some names and phone numbers. Just shoot me a line. Thanks. I hope that was helpful.
Oh, so bad. Where do I even begin? All right. Well, the first problem is that I started that whole wrap up sequence way too soon. I started it a good almost 40 seconds prior to the end of the video, which is a clear signal to YouTube that says, hey, the video is over. You can leave now. And so guess what? People do. When I go look at the analytics for this video, I can see that there's a mass exodus long before the end of the video. They're not sticking around to the end because I've pretty much told them that the video is over. Next, I'm telling them, go to my website, start looking for properties, contact me, and I can help you talk to a lender. I'm giving them too many options. Instead, I need to give them one clear call to action, tell them to do it, and then end the video. So now I know how to wrap up my videos far better, but at the time, did I get a lot of leads from this video? No, I did not. And it's no wonder. All right, and now one of my all-time favorite videos was a Facebook Live, which I downloaded and uploaded to YouTube. Let's go check out this work of art, shall we?
Bear with me as I learn about this whole thing. I wanted to talk today a little bit about the importance of choosing the right real estate agent. Most buyers.
Seriously, the very first thing out of my mouth is an apology that I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Off the street, or somebody who's a friend that happens to have their real estate license. And that's great. I applaud you for being loyal. But really, you need somebody who is competent, who is a skilled negotiator, who is local and knows the area and knows our market and has time for you. I mean, have you ever tried to call your agent and say, I want to go see this house, and they're just not available until next Thursday? So I wanted to give you a real life case study.
All right, so let's talk about the quality of this video, shall we? I think you've heard me talk before about what my office used to look like when I lived in Atlanta. The walls were painted this coffee brown color. The lighting was terrible. I didn't know anything about lighting and having a microphone and any of that stuff. And I was literally using the webcam on my MacBook Pro in order to go live like this. So the camera is down way too low. You can see that my laptop was on my desk and I'm looking down at it. So I have this lovely up the nose shot, which is so flattering, don't you think? And the sunlight is coming in from that window off to the side. I mean, everything about the quality of this one is just so stunning.
So what I did was I called the owner of the for sale by owner and said that I had a client who was already pre-approved, which would really like to see the property. And I negotiated that he would pay my fee so that my buyer wouldn't have to do it. And then we went and saw the house. My client loved the house, wanted to write an offer. It did need some work. So when we wrote our offer, I was able to negotiate that the seller would put in a brand new furnace before he closes, pay all of his closing costs for him, repair any termite damage or fungus dry rot so that we could get a clear termite at the end of the transaction and have his home warranty paid for.
I remember this transaction so well because this buyer was the very first buyer that I ever got from my Easy Agent Pro website. I know a lot of you ask me about websites. I have done videos before. I'll link to it up in the cards about why I use Easy Agent Pro and what my experience has been with them. But he was the very first lead that I got from my website. After I had moved to Atlanta, I launched this website. He came through on New Year's Eve, and I will never forget it because I got an email at like 8 o'clock on New Year's Eve saying, I just got pre-approved to buy my very first house, and I want you to help me. And why did he come to my website and pick me? Because I had been sporadically making videos, and he felt like he knew me already. So You've heard my story before. You know that's why I'm such a huge advocate of video, is because you get leads like that. They've already picked you. You don't have to interview. They're not comparing you to other people. They've already decided. And this guy was just a joy to work with. First time buyer, very excited to buy. But as you heard, it was a very competitive market and we were getting beaten out all the time. It was a hot seller's market at the time. And this poor little first time buyer with a small down payment doing FHA loan was not able to compete with the people that were writing cash offers and were able to close in 10 days. People like Home Partners. We were competing against companies that were buying the property to turn into an investment property, and he simply couldn't compete. So how could I have made this video better? I could have started with a great opening hook. I could have talked about buying a for sale by owner when you are a buyer and you do have a real estate agent, how the payment thing works. Somebody's got to pay the brokerage fee. Is it going to be the buyer or is it going to be the seller? You can explain to them in the video how this works, share the story, telling them how it was successful and what you were able to negotiate on behalf of your buyer. And you pitch it so that the buyer is the hero of the story, not you. You were the trusted guide who made it happen, but you were not the hero, because when you make the story all about you, they don't care. They were doing a search to find the answer to their question, but they don't want to hear a big song and dance about how fabulous you are and why everyone in town should work with you. There is a great book by Donald Miller called Story Brand that talks all about this. The hero's journey. You are not the hero. Your client is the hero. If you are a real estate professional and you are ready to stop chasing business and want to start attracting it, but you need a little kick in the pants to get going with YouTube, I have a free downloadable YouTube workbook for you. Just click this link, go over to my website and download the workbook and find out exactly what it's going to take for you to start attracting leads to your business on autopilot while you sleep.